So remember how I had a video up a while back about a mobile version of Monster Hunter called Monster Hunter Explorer? Well, there's another mobile Monster Hunter game. This one is called Monster Hunter Stories Otomo Drop. Roughly translated, it's something like companion drop. It's not really what you would think though, because this is a match 3 game. It's sort of like Candy Crush or Pokemon Shuffle, but this is themed after Monster Hunter Stories, and it shares a handful of elements very liberally with it as well. In a bit, I'll show you how to install the game, but for now, I'm just going to explain a little bit about the game and what it's like so you can see if you want to try it. Now, I don't speak or read a whole lot of Japanese, but this is a very simple game and it doesn't require too much reading comprehension. After getting into the game, there's sort of like a tutorial that tells you exactly what to click on and what you need to do with all these visual cues. So you make a hunter and you click through some dialogue, and when you finally get into your first actual match of the game, the board is made up of your party. It's pretty standard for these match 3 type of games. You click and drag monsters to make matches of 3 or more. Now, I'm absolutely awful at this game, so you're gonna have to excuse my pitiful attempts at playing this because I'm essentially hot garbage. If you notice at the top, my first opponent is the terribly strong and intimidating Aptonoth. He has a life bar, and under Mr. Aptonoth is my party. I have 5 members on my team, and the one in the center is the team leader. See how his portrait is a little bit bigger than the others. He will control my special attack, which I'll get into in a second. Underneath my party is the life bar, and the Aptonoth will occasionally attack and do damage here. So let's fast forward a little bit. Okay, so you see how my party members have blue backgrounds filling up on their portraits? Well, these are kind of like the special attacks, but they're solely for that monster. It's just a way to get some extra damage out. So if I fill up the portrait for Eodrome, he'll do a special attack that may or may not have a unique effect. Each monster's special attack has a different effect, and some may even heal you, or in Eodrome's case, poison the enemy. So let's skip ahead a few battles until we get to something interesting. As you can see, my party composition is slightly different. Rather than having an Aptonoth, I now have an Arzuros as my team lead, and we're fighting a Velocidrome. When we fill up the meter at the bottom, we'll enter a special mode called Ride On. The nice thing about this mode is that we can make as many matches as we want as fast as we can. We don't have to wait for the animations to finish. I totally screwed up on this Ride On because I cracked under pressure, but at the end of it, you do a bunch of damage depending on how many points and matches you make. Now, I haven't gotten super far in this game yet, but it is addicting. When I first played through this game months back, I was convinced that Stories would release on the Switch because there were all these really nice looking models that Capcom could use, which are from this game. Now, that didn't turn out to be the case, unfortunately, but the visuals here are crisp and very pretty. I'm running this on a Samsung S7 Edge, and I'm recording through the game launcher as well. That's why you see my little portrait on screen. I'm not sure how well other phones can handle this game. I really don't know. There's probably an option to turn down the settings somewhere in a menu. So there is this kind of world map thing that takes you through the different stages, and as you progress through each map, you'll encounter new monsters and traps. In the second map, you'll start seeing these boulders that you have to match next to in order to break, and these holes that you just can't move, you can't do anything about those. But I didn't really start finding it difficult until the third map, and that's just because my monsters weren't high enough level. You can also unlock other specialized maps for events and things like that, and these had tougher monsters and unique monsters as well. There are a bunch of them, and I haven't checked them all out, mainly because I don't know what level they recommend, and I'd probably get stumped, but I like that the option is there. I did go to this map full of barrel cats, but each level got too hard and I just couldn't make any progress. This is because the damage that you and your monsters do are calculated through experience levels and equipment. Now, being in that this is a mobile game and seeing as though it's made in the shadow of other match 3 type games, you know there's a limit on how much you can play. You can see how many life points you have up at the top of the screen. This number will increase as you level up, and when you enter a level, your heart will go down by 1. Later on, I know the gameplay gets much tougher and you can fight exclusive event monsters, sort of like how you had special events in Pokemon Shuffle. At the beginning of the game, though, you get a lot of free hearts just for beating levels. The pace really slows down eventually, and you have to wait however many minutes for another heart. It's not really that bad of a wait time, though. If you have full hearts, you'll be able to play for a while, as long as you don't die 10 times in a row. Now, from what I understand, you have to purchase eggs, and there's no guarantee on what you get, but it looks like there are 2 egg group event type sort of things that rotate over time, and they each have a different set of monsters that you could hatch. When I click on this button right here, I purchase an egg and it hatches immediately. In this case, I got a couple of junk monsters, including an Arzuros, a Conga, Kechawacha. Now, one thing that's kind of cool is since I already had an Arzuros, I got one for free at the beginning of the game. The new one merged with my old Arzuros, and it increased its strength. It increased its stats, and it just generally made him more viable. Now, I thought that was a nice touch because it kind of eliminates any waste monsters that you get. Each of these new monsters also have new abilities as well, although I will say it's hard to tell between a Quechua and a Congolol because their colors are very similar, especially in the heat of the moment. However, it is very difficult to get money in this game. Sometimes I'll only get 10 zenny per hunt, and when monsters are 3 grand, it's kind of ridiculous to get new monsters. Sometimes you can get 300 zenny or so just from finishing missions, but they're really pushing the whole you should buy coins mentality. I also ended up getting a few other monsters with my time so far, including a marshmallow shark, Zamdrios. You may have noticed the 2 buttons at the top of the screen, the auto and the speed buttons. These do exactly what you'd expect. You can double the game speed, but that's just simply too fast for me in my opinion. The auto button though is a little bit puzzling. It just has the computer make any and all matches for you, and then you're essentially just looking at the screen and the game is playing itself. However, this function is so overpowered. It saved my life plenty of times in multiple games and given me crazy combo scores, but you literally don't have to press 1 button. Now I am confused about a few things, namely the armor and the weapons, because I don't really understand how to get them. I found a few from doing missions, and I also found a few from randomly clicking on things. I got mine from this screen by opening boxes. I could have sworn when I played this game months ago, there was a straightforward way to either craft or buy equipment, but I can't figure it out right now. If anybody knows and has any tips for me in this game, whether it relates to equipment or just in general, just let me know in the comments. Well, what can I say about Otomo Drop? It's not bad. It's actually kind of fun, especially if you like the genre. It's a good time-wasting game, as are many other phone games. This, along with Monster Hunter Explorer, are 2 very good entries in the Monster Hunter franchise that are made exclusively for phones. I made a video on Monster Hunter Explorer previously. It's a fun game that's actually closer to the mainline games. There is another Monster Hunter game on Android in Japan, but I could not figure it out. There's just way too much text. Maybe I'll come back to it when I finish learning how to read Japanese. But let's go over how to install Otomo Drop. So if you want to play Otomo Drop, you can't just go into the App Store or whatever and install this game, because it is region blocked. It's only available in Japan. However, there is this app called QooApp, K-O-O. You can download Otomo Drop and every other region locked game in this QooApp. There are several other Monster Hunter games, as I mentioned previously, available on Android in Japan. So this is what you need to do. If you have an Android phone at least, grab the QooApp APK and install it on your phone. Launch the app and then search for Capcom. All of the Monster Hunter games will appear, and you can just click on the one you want to download, and that's it, easy as that. Unfortunately, I have no idea how to install this on iPhone, but I'm sure there are resources around. If I find any guides, I'll pin a comment with the instructions down below. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this little foray into a Japan-exclusive Monster Hunter title. If you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing and sharing this video with your friends. See ya!